We are back to Marvel Spider-Man 2. Gonna be starting up a new game plus run, and I'm not gonna record every single thing that I play, but I want to use this to just talk about Marvel. So this first episode is going to be about Deadpool and Wolverine. So spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's already been a while though, but still actually started a new game plus run. If not, that's very embarrassing. So I'm gonna skip the cutscenes. If I could. Can oh I don't think you could skip this first one actually. Or can you? No, you can. Um so the
We're
Deadpool and
ready.
Wolverine I'm really not gonna be able to talk. Hold up.
Are you good?
So the first thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to
That must be
Deadpool
something.
first thing I wanted to talk
Anything.
about when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, it's
This
probably
doesn't
my
work.
favorite multiverse-esque story, besides maybe No Way Home, but I would have to watch both of them again to be able to make that
It'll
decision or
work.
make that choice. But Deadpool and Wolverine was such a
I don't
fun
have a lot
time.
of time.
From the
I just
start,
did
we
a shot
already
in
knew what was gonna
yesterday.
go down
It's not
with
much
that
money,
opening
but it's
dance
money.
scene
It's Robbie Robertson's
to
payroll.
Bye Bye Bye.
We used to work
Absolutely
together at
love
the
that
museum.
moment. I
I know
mean,
just what he'd like.
without a doubt,
Thanks,
one of
Miles.
the best
No problem.
openings
I might send him a
to
few
a
more
movie,
shots
an
too if I
MCU
have
movie that
time.
we've gotten.
Robbie
Obviously,
always
nothing on
said,
the level of Infinity
"Don't
War,
show me the
but
city.
super enjoyable.
Show me New York."
So I'm not gonna go through the entirety of the movie because, to be honest, I'll just keep rambling on. Big highlights though, that opening scene, seeing all the Wolverine variants, I guess. We got Patch, the super short, comic accurate Wolverine. We got Henry Cavill as Wolverine, Hulk versus Wolverine, which that suit is absolutely beautiful. And then once we get our Wolverine for the movie, which has the comic accurate suit, that's where the story really picks up with Paradox sending them into the void essentially. Because he's like, yeah, y'all are gonna get in my way. Which Paradox wasn't a great villain, but the Deadpool villains aren't really great. Cassandra Nova is probably the best one out of the trilogy. But besides that, once we get sent to the void, the movie's basically in the void for the majority of the time. And that's where we get the first major fight scene between Deadpool and Wolverine, which absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved how Wolverine was very animalistic, falling on the floor. He did like the Berserkers, what is it, Berserker barrages. We actually see the first cameo, besides Happy, when Deadpool's trying to become an Avenger back on his work before he ends up getting sent to the Void and getting contact or taken by the TVA and all that. Chris Evans pops up, and at first you think he's gonna be Captain America, but he ends up being the Human Torch from Fantastic Four, which was amazing to see. Not only him being on screen, being able to like act differently, but being able to like curse and all that. It's funny enough how he would always be like language to Tony. Seeing him on screen again was amazing. Speaking of Captain America,
Ain't that something?
besides that, once he gets his powers taken from Pyro sucks up all his flame. And once that fight scene is over, we end up getting essentially captured by Cassandra Nova's people. How do I take a picture? Um, I'm literally pressing every single button. I cannot. How do I do it? No. How the fuck do I take a picture? Bro, this is messing up the vibes right now, bro. I'm trying to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine and I cannot remember how to take a damn picture. Alright, bro. Is it gonna be here? Camera, there we go. There we go.
There.
Jesus
Gotta
Christ, that took
submit
way too
and
fucking long. What? I don't even know where it was. Oh, Captain America getting his powers taken by Pyro. So once we get that, then I honestly thought he died there. I'm not gonna lie. Every time they held like a super long shot at someone, I always thought that they were gonna end up dying, just because that's the way that Deadpool is sometimes with the movies. But once we get picked up by Cassandra's people, not picked up, captured essentially, we get more of Chris Evans on screen, and we also get the first look at Cassandra. We learn a little bit more about why she's even there in the first place, which in the comics she's originally Xavier's twin, and they end up fighting, and she gets choked up with the umbilical cord. I think is how it is in the comics. But here she was sent here as a baby. She was pruned as a baby, which is crazy to think about. And she basically grew up in the void. And then,
Some jerks are trying
since
to
she
break
grew up
into
in the
that
void,
building.
she essentially figured out that she could do whatever she want, and no one would stop her.
Nice work for the Maple Leaf
She
Spider.
was basically a god there. Deadpool and Wolverine tried to stab her after she brutally ripped off Chris Evans' skin, which disgusting, first of all. And second of all, Deadpool of course has to make a joke about the fact that he was eating on most of the budget, because he honestly probably was. And from there, I'm not can't even call it a fight scene because they basically scuffle, and then Cassandra destroys them. They end up escaping on what I thought was a sentinel leg, but to be honest, I'm not even sure what it was. And then we end up at a diner, which I said I wasn't gonna go through the whole movie,
Traffic laws.
and I'm going through the whole movie. Like we get some banter between the two, some more banter, I should say. And then we end up meeting Dogpool and Nicepool, which that dog is disgustingly ugly, but I absolutely love it, as does Deadpool. And then Nicepool being basically Ryan Reynolds with just some armor is absolutely hilarious. Oh my god! And then the divorce joke that he does to Hugh Jackman is is insane, considering that they probably were going through the divorce in the middle of filming. I don't know how Hugh Jackman let him slide with that. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably why he absolutely destroyed Deadpool verbally and physically in the minivan, which the Honda Odyssey joke was, or a gag, I
I got
guess, because it wasn't
fired.
really a joke. But it makes it better that we got that really good
I
fight
had the
scene
whole semester
with
planned
Deadpool and
out.
Wolverine in the
Next week, we were gonna
van,
make up a
and it
trip
ends
to
up leading to
California.
probably the best part of the movie, which
I'm
is
so
are the
sorry.
cameos. Which first off is Elektra, Jennifer Gardner, which I would not have been upset if Ben Affleck would have shown up as
Jonah already
Daredevil.
cleaning house?
That would have been hilarious, like just to see him on screen. But then we get Blade,
Thanks. What
which
does that
that
even mean?
beat that was playing in the background was absolutely beautiful. So once we see Blade, they have their banter between
Oh, well,
Blade and
you'll be
Deadpool's
fine then
characters, but really Wesley
because
Snipes
you
and
know
Ryan
history better than
Reynolds.
you have.
We get Gambit, which was probably
Got
the
a minute?
best cameo in the whole film, and one of the better parts, because Channing Tatum has been wanting to play Gambit for a long ass time, and he
It
was
got
finally
great
given the
reviews.
chance. His accent was a little intense, but I mean, I loved it because it was funny. They played off of it, and it worked well, kind of. But seeing him fight, oh, and X-23, which was the person that brought them to that place
Do
when
you
she found them in
even
the
need
van.
a bugle to do what you want to do?
So they end up deciding to go fight Cassandra, get Juggernaut's helmet to suppress Cassandra's powers. And once they start showing up, and Blade goes that there's only ever going to be one Blade. Once
I
again, I
haven't
don't
had
know
time to
how
clean.
Disney let them get slide with that in terms of like complete. That's like a major
Yeah,
dig to itself. Technically Marvel, but whatever. And then the fight
I'm
scene,
just
bro.
gonna
When
tidy up.
Gambit pulls up those cards, that and he starts like being acrobatic, and he has the staff, and then Blaze chopping people up. We got Lady Deathstrike, um, a Nightcrawler's dad. I forgot his name, or is it Nightcrawler's dad or Mystique's dad? I don't know. I forgot. What else we get? Psylocke, obviously Juggernaut, Pyro, Toad.
I mortgaged the
Like
house to keep Beast afloat.
there was so
But
much
no
in that
one's.
scene that I have to absolutely looked. This dirty ass house, bro.
I don't
Once we
know.
get those cameos,
To
we
be honest,
go
I'd
into
like
a
to take
pretty
some time off,
like
but
surprisingly
I
deep
can't really
part
afford
of the
to.
movie. Besides the van scene where Hugh Jackman's acting takes over,
I
which once again it takes over,
can't.
when
I
Cassandra
mean, I
ends up
could, but
going into his
I
mind,
can't.
and we see all the graves of the X-Men, both that the humans killed and that he himself
No,
ended up
no, I
killing in
can't let
his
you do that.
rage when he let
Plus, you
everyone
said
down.
Jonah might clean house.
When Cassandra's talking to him, telling him he could quiet it, and it completely goes silent after all the noise that was in the movie theater
I
and in
don't
the movie
deserve you.
itself, seeing that getting that like break of
Hey,
silence
so
was
have you
awesome.
thought any more about moving?
And
We've
then we
talked
end up
about
getting the
this.
scene
I
where
need to be
Deadpool
in the
puts on
city before
Juggernaut's
some
helmet,
attraction is.
and
But think
then
of all the
Oh,
Wolverine,
for
whatever,
dinner.
does the
fair
right
point.
thing, the thing that Xavier would want,
Hey,
and sort of a
what's this?
redemption for himself for killing all those mutants.
Is all this
And he
maze stuff?
has Deadpool take off the
Yeah,
helmet.
I need to
She
donate
has
it,
a
but
sling ring that
just
connects through realities because it has the
what are
reality
you
and
looking at?
time stone. So it could
Some
probably send
pretty
them back in
cute
time
old
too if they
photos of
wanted
you.
to, which is
Man,
crazy.
I haven't seen these in a while.
So they end up going back
I think
to
that was in my
where
bedroom.
Paradox is, and he
Who
has
took a
this
picture of
time
that?
ripper, which he's using to destroy
Balance.
all the
What does that
universes.
mean?
Or he wants to use it to prune
Wonder if
the
this is still there.
universes instead of doing it the way
Never
that the
take a look.
TVA is currently doing it, with Loki holding them all together and just letting everything go the way it's supposed to, or the way that it should. They want to actually have a
Let me know what
hand
you
in
find these
eliminating them,
photos you've never.
which Cassandra ends up finding out when Pyro tries to shoot her, and it doesn't work because Pyro was working for Paradox. That leads us to towards the end of the movie, where we end up getting the final fight scene, which the Deadpool core, Blake Lively, when she said Uzi time, baby,
What's
don't even get me
that?
started.
What was what?
Um, all the cameos that showed up,
Peter.
Ryan Reynolds and
Oh,
Blake's
I
daughter, Matthew
I thought
McConaughey,
I heard a rat in the
Nathan
wall.
Filoni, or how do you say his name? Whatever.
Nothing.
I really wish we got a
It's
Nolan
just
North Deadpool there. Like, not even like an animated one, but like maybe one that's like, or just Nolan North himself and like Deadpool. Or, no, technically all of them would know because all of them would be able to break the
When
fourth
I
wall.
was your age,
So imagine
I
Nolan North
was
showed up and
head
they
of
all
the
freaked
department,
out. I think that would have been
captain
pretty
of the
cool.
soccer team, and second violin
Um,
in orchestra.
when Deadpool uses Nice Pool
Every
as a
year,
human shield,
I
he's
wanted
like,
a
"Don't worry, he'll
new
regenerate."
feather in my cap.
And he's like, "Oh my God, no!"
But when I tried
Before
to
that,
add honor roll
before
student
the
on
Deadpool
top,
core shows up, when
it fell
Dogpool
apart.
grows up and then
Instead of
Nice
being good at a
Pool
few
goes,
things,
I can lightly tap the
I
fourth wall
wasn't
too.
good at
Looks at the thing,
anything.
goes, the proposal.
So
That shit was hilarious, bro. And
I
then the
scaled
Deadpool core
back.
comes out. Prime Deadpool uses Nice Pool as a human shield.
Balance
He gets shot
is
up,
a process,
and then he can't regenerate.
not a destination.
So, so that the Prime Deadpool takes his golden guns, which
I'm
is what he
still
wanted the
here.
whole time. Then we get the money shot, bro. When when Hugh Jackman pulls up that hood and he says it's for killing mostly, and then we get that long one shot where the camera ends up going past all the Deadpools and then they come back into frame. Oh my god, that shit was so good to look at, except for the end with the CGI Hugh
Look,
Jackman. That shit looked weird
they
as fuck.
took
It
too much
took
blood.
me out for like a brief second. Even though
We've
I've
got
seen
a kid.
people say like, "Oh, they were joking,
We
you're
should go
making
check
fun
on
of it."
MJ.
Regardless, it doesn't make up for the fact that it looks very awkward. That was probably the most awkward scene of the whole movie, which was when after they jumped out. The slow mo was fine, but once Deadpool
Just
fell,
got a
it
tip.
should have just been
Refs moving a couple of
regular Hugh
inmates to
Jackman.
Ravencroft tomorrow for
Regardless,
evaluation.
They still good?
No.
this is where we get
Gotta
Peter
find out.
coming out with this weird bulge, which is absolutely crazy. I fuck this cutscene. Where
You sure you're
oh, I
up for
have
this?
to do this
Oh yeah,
stupid
I'm feeling
bike
good.
shit.
Just
When Peter rolls up, oh,
teaching, maybe
surprisingly, when
getting
Peter rolls
fired.
up on the bike, saying
I've
that
also been tutoring a high school kid.
Wolverine and Deadpool are
He's
with him, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's fucking Peter!"
reminds me a little
And
me
everyone
actually.
has a Peter basically,
Lucky
which should be what
I
Bob should
never
have
would have
been.
passed on
But
my
I
health
mean,
without your
it
help.
doesn't really bother me as much as, for example,
Hey,
like
I read about your old
Tom
boss,
Holland
Dr.
and
Octavius.
Ned did in Homecoming and that trilogy,
That's one way to put it.
because that
Yeah.
should have been someone like Harry, even
I wish
because
you could
Ned
have.
is Miles'
Harry,
character.
why didn't you
But
tell
that's
me you
another
were sick?
topic for a different day.
I'd have been there in a shot.
So once Peter
Like,
essentially calms the Deadpool's down, distracts them,
treatment was
they all
horrible.
run down to where
I was
Paradox is
floating in
at,
a tank
and
with a healing pool.
Cassandra, as she's trying to
Gave me off
disassemble
nightmares.
all of the timelines.
Tank? Wait,
Then Deadpool tries to make
we're
the
at
sacrifice
Midtown
there.
High. Is that actually
And
where we're
at
going?
first we think
Can
Deadpool's
neither
gonna die.
confirm
Well,
nor
not
deny.
think, but that's what they try to portray. Where Deadpool does it, he can't reach. Hugh Jackman busts in, and together they are able to stop it. Which, for no reason at all, well, no, not for no reason, purely fan service.
So
But
it's
Hugh
exactly the
Jackman's
same
top
as it did
comes
10
off,
years ago.
but nothing else does. His mask doesn't come off, the pants don't come off, which
Thanks.
I'm not gonna say I wish they did, but I wish they did. You know what I'm saying?
Bring us here. We won't
Nothing
get
of,
high school.
of Deadpool came, no,
Remember that
Deadpool's came
time
off,
Flash and his buddies
but
cornered me
we
and
got
broke my
some
laptop?
Hugh Jackman
We
abs.
lost that
So
presentation.
there's
The
that.
young entrepreneurs competition.
And
We
then
worked
they
for
don't end up
months on
dying,
that thing.
even though this is
State
probably
papers the next morning.
this is
Backup
one of
on
the
the
better
USB.
scenes of the
What
movie
was
too,
in
when
your
Paradox
locker?
is telling
Called the school
B-15
begging to let us
that
in.
They
like
said,
So
they're
desperate, we walked
heroes,
around the entire
they
school,
gave their
trying
lives,
every door.
we should recognize them, and
until
then
these
then
guys did this
Deadpool
one.
comes, he has risen, baby girl, and he goes, fuck. I that,
Remember we had a
I've been
gimmick.
seeing that on TikTok too. That clip absolutely killed me when I saw it for the first time in the movie. And then they come on in the
Shall we?
super overused but well done slow mo with abs and all the other the TVA agent that was looking at Deadpool and the woman was are like swooning over his abs, which I can't knock him for that. I would do too. I would as well.
Sure.
We find out
Movie,
that
it's
because they
there.
work together, he was able to redeem himself. And even though he wants to save his timeline, or he wanted to, B-15's like, well, you redeemed yourself here. If we were to bring him back, this would have never happened. So you would have still been a piece of shit, essentially. Fuck the cinematic. I'm just here. Okay. Once that happens and the TV agents swoon over him,
Hey, forgot to
Wolverine,
tell
they
you
get
about that
shawarma,
presentation of my
which
mom.
on brand because the Avengers got shawarma.
She had one critique.
And then
She said we should
Wolverine has
remake
nowhere to
her
go.
and heal the world.
Deadpool has
Oh,
Dogpool,
that's perfect.
and
Right?
he ends up taking him home
Once we
to
get to
where
the
Blind
zombie
Dow is
stairs,
at.
your locker may back at the gym.
Once he brings in Wolverine and Dogpool, they have like a huge family reunion, which where we find out X-23 ended up coming out of the void, so they were able to bring her out. And probably, well, no, they were able to give him back to the worlds, X-23 to the universe where Logan's at, because that's where Deadpool is too, since Logan is the anchor being. Jennifer Garner probably went back to hers, Blade went back to his, Gambit must have
Someone in here playing tricks,
just
huh?
stayed in the void, because like he said, he was born there, so he had nowhere to go. And then the post credit scene, which is where all the stuff that Johnny was claiming that he didn't say, that Deadpool was just making up. We actually find out that he said all of that, which I wish I could remember the whole thing, but I definitely could not. But that was absolutely hilarious. I would say probably the best use of the multiverse in terms of cameos. Not even cameos, because they had a big part of the story. Like with No Way Home, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, they had a huge part, so they weren't even cameos. Like the only cameo, the Deadpool core would have been
This is me making a break for it.
the cameos, like the actors like Matthew McConaughey, Nathan Fillion, Blake Lively. The story was a bit of a mess, but it wasn't to the point where it like destroyed um my enjoyment for the film. If anything, it enhanced it. So cameo's insane.
For some hoops.
You
The
sure
story
you're up for
was
this?
okay.
The question is, are you?
I definitely loved
Let's
it,
see it, big
and I
talker.
definitely want to see it again.
A little rusty, no biggie.
But it was a great
Are
time,
you?
bro. I can't wait to see Deadpool and more stuff. Hold up, I gotta lock in for the shot.
Nice.
I definitely want to see
So
Deadpool again. I mean, who doesn't?
Seriously.
I want to see him also in the other MCU movies. We're obviously gonna get him in Secret Wars. I would love to see him pop up in different films
I've been
like
busy and
Spider-Man.
I don't know.
Shit, I'll take him in Daredevil if they put him in Born Again. Although we gotta lock in. And I mean, there's really not much more to say. Like, obviously, I could talk about more stuff, but I'm not new Rockstars over here, so y'all can go watch that if you want a full breakdown of the damn movie. But I really enjoyed it. It was such a fun film,
I mean, it seems like you
especially
guys
with
were
the
doing
amount of
good.
things that you would need to know in the background for the cameos and the moments to really hit. Like the whole Ben Affleck divorce thing, Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds' beef, the whole thing where Marvel or Disney bought Fox, which Deadpool does a pretty good job explaining it himself in the movie, which reminds me of another funny moment. This is definitely one of the funnier moments, like top three, when he salutes Captain America and all them,
But
and
not
then he
done
says
yet.
he's Marvel Genius. He runs to the
I know
camera,
that look.
headbutts it, and then says, "Suck it, fucks. I'm going to Disney. Fuck you,
You
or
find your
fuck
old
it, or
locker?
fuck yeah." That was hilarious to me. I mean, yeah, this is a movie that definitely deserves a rewatch. I think it's like the sixth best opening for a movie domestically, and the best rated R opening of all time, I think, already, which is insane. I think it's already cleared 500 million, so it's definitely gonna clear a billion. I'm predicting it's probably gonna clear like 1.3, which is crazy. Not only for like just a Marvel movie, not crazy, but it's really good for a Marvel movie. But for a rated R movie, just in general, yeah, they're definitely gonna take bigger risks with having rated R films for superheroes, especially someone
Get under there.
like a like a Daredevil, because we are getting born again. But I would love to see a rated R Spider-Man,
This floor 3 times
not
already.
for Spider-Man being super violent or what's it like heavy profanity, but in terms of like the themes that they could use in the other characters like Daredevil and other street level like the Punisher and stuff. Like imagine how cool it would be in that regard. I don't got no. Well, I mean, I could probably talk about more, but I mean, I think this shit's already like 40 minutes, and no one's gonna watch this for 40 minutes. No one's gonna watch this period, to be quite honest, because I'm just yapping, yapping, yapping. But I guess with that being said, I'll catch you on the next one, which I don't know what it's gonna be about.
How did you
We'll
go
probably talk
on?
about Party JS
Dig
Doom
it.
or Hall H in general. But yeah,
Oh
with
crap.
that being said, remember to stay happy,
Who's
healthy,
that?
positive.
Nice
Peace out.
touches,